The next panel is Reverend Catherine Marple, Genevieve Van Cleve, Jennifer Sonsidio, Laura Lejing, Cheryl Spooner, Shelley Gupta-Bretsky. They are to be followed by Gabrielle Ariacomo, Rachel Brown, Laura Weston, Leslie Wheat, Julia Misley, Teresa Blanton. Okay, Reverend Catherine Marple is not here. We will show that individual as registering a position in favor of the bill, not being here to testify. Genevieve Van Cleve.
My name is Genevieve Van Cleve, and I'm testifying against the bill. My state senator is Kirk Watson. I am representing myself. In 2004, my then-fiancé, Peter Revelle, and I were surprised and happy to find out that I was pregnant. We were very much in love, and the pregnancy was welcome news. I made an appointment with Dr. Love, whom you heard from at the beginning of the day. I was 8 weeks pregnant. After my first appointment, the next day, actually, I began to bleed and immediately called the doctor's office. He didn't physically examine me. He just told me I was probably having a miscarriage and I'd probably be okay. I asked him if I needed treatment or further tests. He said no. I asked him if I would require a D&C, and Dr. Love let me know that he didn't perform D&Cs. He didn't believe in any of them or any type of abortion. I asked him if I could get onto birth control pills and when I would recover from this miscarriage. He looked at me and said, "You should practice abstinence and get married. When you're married, you can try again." I left. He never communicated with me again. In the intervening weeks, I got very sick and went to a health clinic that performed abortions and was seen by a nurse practitioner. I told her I had had a miscarriage and my experience with Dr. Love. She said I needed a D&C right away. Before I could get the procedure, I had to be read a pamphlet about alternatives to abortion, like adoption. I had to fight with my insurance company. I had to wait 24 hours so the clinic I went to could conform with an abundance of caution to changing and uncertain waiting period definitions and guidelines for D&Cs. At no point was I seeking to terminate a pregnancy. Having a miscarriage was profoundly sad, coupled with the poor care I received from Dr. Love and the intrusion of the Texas legislature into my follow-up care. It's left lasting emotional scars. The problem with trying to legislate women's health care in such a political way is that it hurts people like me. I am against this bill, and I don't believe that Dr. Love should ever be called as an expert witness again.
Thank you. Jennifer Sonsidio. Senator Zaffirini. Go ahead.
I've heard testimony about a lot of pro-life and pro-choice bills through the years. I've never heard anyone talk about a doctor treating a miscarriage like an abortion. Do you believe that yours is an isolated case, or have you heard of other people? Do you have at least some anecdotal evidence of that happening before?
Five different people today after I posted my testimony on Facebook, of all things, that knew exactly who Dr. Love was and had a similar, if not more, difficult experience with that doctor.
So the miscarriage was treated like an abortion?
For me, yes, it was with him.
That's very disturbing. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Something's wrong. Thank you. Just the battery off.
Yeah. Jennifer Sonsidio wished to provide testimony in favor of the bill. We're going to show her as registering a position, but not providing oral testimony. Laura Lejing.
Laura
Logging. You are recognized.
Thank you for staying so late with the rest of us. My name is Laura Logging. I am a resident of Travis County, represented by Senator Zaffirini. Sorry, it's been a long day for me, too. I'd like to address the premise that abortion in Texas is unsafe. According to most research, less than 1% of abortions in Texas lead to complications. According even to the Texas Department of Health and Human Services, there have been 0 deaths in Texas attributed to abortion since 2008. Based on this, there's no reason to believe that Texas women are in danger or need protection from our existing abortion providers. Women in this state do need your protection. They need your protection from ignorance. They need your protection from lack of health care, from lack of mental health care, from racism, from sexism, and from other people's religious beliefs and agendas. If this bill is passed, it's not to make women safer. It's to promote your own political and religious agendas. At least be honest about your intent. You were chosen to represent the people of Texas, yet you ignore repeated polls showing the majority of Texans oppose this bill. Even in this hearing, we're inaccurately represented. It's obvious, if you've looked around outside this room, that the orange shirts far outnumber the blue. However, the proponents of both sides are being represented here as if they are here in equal parts. I respectfully ask that you look at the facts and respect Texas women. I do believe that those cards will represent my point, that we are in the majority. Do your job, please, all of you. Honorably represent the people of Texas on this issue. Our abortion system is working, and in the words of my father, and my father before him, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Thank you.
Let me make 2 points. First of all, we will hear from everyone who was signed up to provide oral testimony in line by 11 o'clock. So, and we will be able to report out the numbers once we have them tallied. I think they do, or close. That we will publicly reflect how many people were here providing oral testimony, both for and against, and written testimony, or wish to register positions. So the record will absolutely accurately reflect. One other thing that will make you happy, you may have heard me earlier mention in our budget process, we had work groups that determined how much money of the budget went for what, and Senator Huffman, Senator Zeffrini, myself, Senator Dewell were 4 of the 5 members on the work group that dealt with the Health and Human Services. Our number 1 priority was women's health and family planning, and our number 2 priority, you just mentioned, was mental health, and certainly that included women's mental health. So we are doing some good things. Cheryl Spooner, are you here? Oh, Senator Zeffrini, go ahead.
Were you here earlier, ma'am, when I asked Senator Hager about the possibility of his accepting my amendment related to a psychological condition that existed before the pregnancy?
Yes, ma'am, I've been
Do you think that amendment would be meaningful, or do you think it wouldn't matter?
If I'm understanding your meaning, could you please explain your meaning one more time? That was earlier this
Well, the
morning.
psychological condition is not considered an exception to allowing an abortion after 20 weeks. It is not one of the exceptions allowed in the bill. It specifically states that. So I was suggesting that we have the qualifying language unless that psychological condition existed before the pregnancy. And my question is, would that be helpful?
Yes, I do believe it would be.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Cheryl Spooner will be shown registering a position in favor of the bill, but registering a position, not being here to provide oral testimony. Shelley Gupta-Bretsky is not here. In opposition to the bill, we will show that individual as registering a position, not being here to testify. Thank you both for being here.